Hi everyone, Joe Gentili from Left Tail Risk Advisors. So in this video, we're going to go through life insurance for foreign nationals and how to get it. So there's two categories of foreign nationals we're going to speak about. The first are foreign nationals that are in the United States and they're not permanent residents, but they're here on a visa, typically a work visa. It could be an H visa, an O visa, TN, you name it. The only thing that's excluded from this is student visas. Most life insurance companies will not issue policies to people here on student visas, but for most other types of visas, they will issue a policy. It's pretty straightforward for these folks. If they have a US bank, a US address, they have a tax ID number or social security number, and they show they could pay for the policy, you could usually get a policy. The one limitation for folks like this is that depending on the type of visa they have and the amount of time that they're going to be in the United States, it may be easier for them to get a term life insurance policy versus a permanent life insurance policy. So that could be a little complicated for them if they're here on a temporary visa and are looking to secure permanent coverage. That's kind of the biggest hurdle for folks in that category. The other category, which is significantly more complex, is for people that are foreign nationals but do not live in the United States. They have a lot more hurdles that they have to jump through in order to get a life insurance policy. And there's still a number of reasons why they would want to get a life insurance policy. Um, some of them are not able to get life insurance in the country where they're from, either not from high quality carriers or not in sufficient amounts for them. They will want life insurance that's US dollar denominated. So there's a whole host of reasons why they want to get life insurance in the United States. To get life insurance in the United States as a foreign national, the things carriers have different underwriting standards, but there's some things that exist for most carriers in common. These are pretty much across the board what I'm going to go over. So first, the carriers are going to want to see that you have a connection, a nexus to the United States. That could be that you own real estate in the United States. This is a very common reason why foreign nationals buy life insurance. They're going to want to see that you have assets of some kind. It could be a business interest. It could be that you have family in the United States, you have children or grandchildren that you want to take care of with a death benefit. So they want to see some sort of connection to the United States. Second, they're going to want to see a financial justification for having US life insurance. And that's usually tied to having a death benefit need for either people in the United States or assets that you have in the US. So, for instance, let's say that your only assets in the United States are a home, that home's worth $5 million. They're going to want to see life insurance where the amount that's issued is going to be tied to those protecting those US assets. So they want the coverage to match the economic risk. They're also going to want to see transparency on the source of funds. So they are life insurance companies, like all financial institutions in the United States, are sensitive to money laundering issues and know your customer issues. So they're going to want to see that the funds that are being used to pay for the life insurance policy, where those originate from. And some of them are going to want to see that those funds are originating from a US financial institution. So they'll want to see the payments come from a US bank, for instance. Other aspects of the underwriting that occurs in this space that may not occur for people in the US is the country risk. So there are some countries for which life insurance companies in the US will not issue coverage if you're from that country. Some of them are because of laws in that country. So examples would be Japan, France, and Spain. They have laws in those countries that don't allow citizens of those countries to purchase US life insurance, or at least it makes it very difficult. There are also some other countries that if there's currently a war going on, or there's generally it's considered unstable, life insurance companies may be hesitant to issue life insurance policies on people that live or frequently travel to those countries. The other thing that comes up is just the logistics of where everything happens. So the solicitation, the actual nuts and bolts of going through the illustration, everything with that, their companies generally want to see that occur in the United States. They want to have a medical exam, and with some very narrow exceptions, those medical exams have to occur in the United States. So practically speaking, for people that are buying these life insurance policies, they're gonna want to see that they're traveling to the United States at least sometimes, and at least sometimes including doing a lot of the legwork to get the policy issued. Some of them, the life insurance companies will also have minimum sizes on the life insurance policy that they're going to issue in this space. So from what we're describing, you could see there's more work on the life insurance company side. So they're going to have minimums on the size of the policies that they issue. Some of them are going to want to see minimum net worths of the people that they issue life insurance policies on. So different companies are have different standards with this. And if you're working with an agent that's knowledgeable in this area, they're going to help you shop to kind of find the life insurance companies that can service you with your particular need. So really important for people to have US based life insurance if you're a foreign national and you have assets in the United States. The estate tax and gift tax laws in the United States for foreign nationals is very different than for people that are US taxpayers. And quite frankly, they're pretty onerous. There's only a $60,000 estate tax exemption in the United States. So that means that if you own, again, using that example of a $5 million home, if you own a $5 million home, pretty much all of the value of that home on death is subject to estate taxes. And federal estate taxes can go to 40% of the value. And then if it's in a state like New York, which also has a estate tax and it starts at a lower amount, you're adding on to that. So there are situations where the estate taxes can be over half the value of the property. And that money is due within 9 months of death in US dollars. So without having US life insurance in place, without having that liquidity in place for a lot of people, that is a very challenging situation to deal with. So if you own assets in the United States and you're a foreign national, very important that you, A, look at how the assets are titled and how they're held and whether they are subject to US estate and gift taxes and whether they're held in a way that's income tax efficient. And you're going to also want to look at your insurance portfolio, that if there is estate tax exposure, do you have sufficient liquidity? Do you have sufficient US dollar liquidity to address that exposure? And if not, do you need life insurance to cover it? So it is a little cumbersome to get life insurance in the United States as a foreign national residing outside of the United States, but the value is is tremendous for people in this situation. So it's something certainly worth exploring. Another thing to mention is there's a benefit for people that have US life insurance if they are foreign nationals and not citizens of the US. And that's unlike US taxpayers and US citizens, the death benefits for people that are foreign nationals outside of the US, they're not subject to US estate taxes. They get an exemption that US taxpayers do not. So for a US taxpayer, if they own that life insurance policy in their own name and it's not held in a trust, then they're subjecting the death benefit to estate taxes as well. You don't have that problem as a foreign national. That's a very big benefit. So this is a complicated area. It's the type of planning that requires a team. You need people who understand life insurance. It doesn't all have to be the same person, but you need people that understand life insurance, that have some knowledge of immigration, that have some knowledge of tax, both in the US and the country of origin. So you need a team to put this together, and it's complicated. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to discuss this further. And as always, if you found this video useful, I really encourage you to like and subscribe for future videos. So thank you.